Country music has lost one half of one of its best-loved duos. A heartbroken Dolly Parton today honoured her friend Kenny Rogers following his death aged 81. US correspondent Tim Avia has the story.
You must have heard one of the greatest hits of 1981, Island in the Streams, by the magical duo Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. Their chemistry on stage has always been questioned, yet their 5 decades of friendship have remained strong and unbroken. And this has made fans wonder what secrets bind these two great musicians together. In this video, you'll learn what Dolly Parton revealed about her incredible relationship with Kenny Rogers, and it's shocking. Popular singer and songwriter Kenny Rogers was born Kenneth Donald Rogers on August 21, 1938, at St Joseph Infirmary in Houston, Texas.
When I grew up in Houston, there were maybe 50 kids within a 2-block area. A fight was a black eye, and that was it. But it was really kind of a great place to make friends.
He is the 4th child of 8 children. Of Irish and Native American descent, his father was known as Edward Floyd Rogers. He was a carpenter by profession, while his mother, Lucille Lois Rogers, was a nurse's assistant. Rogers completed his elementary education at Wharton Elementary School, then continued at George Washington Junior High School, and finally graduated from Jefferson Davis High School, which is now known as Northside High School, in 1956. Rogers had always been hardworking, even from a very young age. He engaged in menial jobs to make ends meet. He won a talent show at the Texas Theater in 1949. He also served as a busy boy at the Rice Hotel and swept floors at a hat store for $9 a week. He soon gained admission into the University of Houston, being the first graduate his family ever produced. Even from high school, he said concerning his family's low status, "We were broke. We lived in a federal housing project. I think the most money my father ever made was $1.75 a week. There were times as a child that I don't think I was ever really hungry. I always had food to eat, but there's no question that our family was nutritionally deprived at times. We'd eat peanut butter sandwiches, 'cause that's all there was. Quite honestly, when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You think that's how everyone eats." This lowly beginning must have been a common ground for his relationship with Parton to blossom.
With each other, our friendship, people really sense what we really feel.
We are soul partners.
When Rogers said this about Parton, "She can say the most bizarre things," and she does, but if you can remember that it came from love, you can't be upset. It made people question the type of person Parton was, but a look at Parton's background showed she even had a worse life. Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19, 1946, in Locust Ridge, Tennessee. She was the 4th of 12 children. She started developing a passion for music at a very young age and started singing in church. Though her family had nothing, she had her dreams, holding on to the lessons she learned from church, especially from her grandfather, who was a preacher. Parton recalls how her grandfather always told her that Jesus loves her, and through God, all things are possible. This helped inspire her to believe that her desire of becoming a singer and songwriter was going to be achieved. By the age of 7, she could already play the guitar so well.
Making believe that you still love me, it's leaving me alone and so blue.
And she says of this, "As soon as I learned to play the guitar when I was 7, I started writing some serious songs after that. I had a gift of rhyme. I wrote a song about a little cob doll I had called Tiny Tasseltop." Parton's very first song was about a doll she had that was made from corn husks. Unbelievable. She even explained how it was made. "Daddy took the husks and got a hot poker in the fire and made some little eye holes in this cob. Mama put the little tassels back on it and made it a little shuck dress. I loved that little doll." As young as she was already a featured singer and guitarist on local radio and television shows in Knoxville, Tennessee. Immediately after her graduation from high school, she boarded a Greyhound for Nashville, the home of country music, to pursue a career in music. How they met. They first met in the 1970s when Parton was heading a television show called Dolly. Rogers, in his 2012 autobiography, Luck or Something Like It, recalled their very first meeting together. He had been invited as a guest on her variety show in 1976, but didn't really become friends then. He explained, "I would like to say that we became immediate friends, but we didn't. I was just another guest in the mix of her very busy schedule." Parton said she knew about Rogers before she met him because he was a member of a First Edition before becoming a solo artist. "I first became aware of Rogers when he was with a group called First Edition. I heard a song called I Just Dropped In to See What Condition My Condition Was In. I thought that was very clever. but I loved the sound of his voice, and I kind of followed around to see who he was and got more involved in his music. I loved all of Rogers' songs. I just love his sound. They probably would have never been this close again, but thanks to the Bee Gees, who had written Islands in the Stream, they could meet again. And that meeting was in 1983. During the initial recording of Island in the Streams, Rogers was having difficulty singing the song, stating, "I had worked on the song with Barry for at least 4 days, something I was not used to doing. I finally told him I didn't even like the song anymore." Rogers had asked Barry Gibb of Bee Gees to produce his 1983 album. Barry had suggested that they should bring Dolly Parton in. As fate would have it, Parton was in the same building that day.
I think that did something to me.
What do you think it did?
Gave me that insight, gave me that instinct about music, about life, about everything.
And she was called to join. Rogers recalled their meeting. She came marching into the room in her inimitable fashion, and once she came in and started singing, the song was never the same. Island in the Streams became a massive collaboration and went on to be one of the greatest duet songs of all time. It topped the Billboard chart in 1983 and remained there for 24 weeks. From that first collaboration, something more than the success of a song was budding. The two had similarities that they discovered from working together. Rogers said of this, "I think one of the things that affects a relationship when you're working with someone is your upbringing and your background." He laid emphasis on their similarities. "I think our religious backgrounds are the same, and our family orientation is the same. So I think it gives us a lot of common denominators to draw on for our friendship." They soon became intertwined, with Parton confessing, "I just loved him. We were such kindred spirits." In 1984, Parton and Rogers released an album titled Once Upon a Christmas. One memorable song from the album that they sang together was A Christmas to Remember. They collaborated on other tracks, including Real Love and Love is Strange.
Because every time I've worked with you, I've had a good time.
That is fun. It's always nice to sing those old songs.
Career-wise, they both enjoyed a successful partnership. After their first duet, Islands in the Stream, was released in 1983, it reached #1 on the Hot 100 list, according to Billboard. They went on to record dozens of other songs together. It's clear that their working relationship was just great. With their partnership gaining increasing popularity among fans, the pair often toured together. It was during these trips that their friendship was solidified. "We'd eat, hang out, and we found we really liked each other," Parton recalled in an interview with People. She also shared that their respective band members all got along well together too. "Everybody was like family," she gushed. "Kenny was always like a relative to me." During Rogers' appearance on Parton's show in the 1980 S, they both talked about their latest tour, which was in Australia. Parton called it one of the best times I've ever had in my life. Rogers then revealed that he tended to wake up early to take photos, while Parton would sleep in until the early afternoon. Despite their differing schedules, the pair had great synergy on the road. Every faithful fan or audience of Rogers and Parton would agree that the pair always had fun together when performing on stage or being filmed in rehearsals. They could be seen constantly laughing and teasing each other, as Parton let fans in on what goes on with her friend. "I was always such a feisty little thing, and I was always doing stuff backstage or on stage, pinch him on the butt or whatever." Seeing them on stage flowing freely with one another was a testament to a true friendship.
First of all, she's hard to look at for me. No, first of all,
And the chemistry was undeniable on stage. 2012, Rogers spoke about what made their relationship so special for fans. "I think what we had was a real chemistry, and we loved people talking about it. And it wasn't long before rumors of their supposed romance started floating around." In 1990, one comment about their electric chemistry during an 80s concert was that they had performed like they had been married for years. Marianne Gordon, the fourth wife of Kenny Rogers, was married to him for 16 years before they divorced in 1997. She had to deal with the rumors of a romance. In an interview, she said she was never bothered by her then-husband getting romantically involved with Parton. She went on to reveal that at one point, the thought of Parton making a move on her husband entered my mind, she admitted, but she soon removed the thought because, according to her, Parton always thought like a man. Gordon also said Rogers had been open about his feelings and intentions at the time. He sincerely felt they, Rogers and Parton, had a cute thing going, and if anything happened between them, they'd ruin that. Despite that, several allegations of romance were still been put forward about them. Interviewers questioned them in different interviews to see if their friendship had grown into romance.
Well, Kenny's friendship means more to me than our hit records. Actually, we're kind of like little soulmates. He's from Texas and I'm from Tennessee.
But both Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers always firmly denied any romance. Though they have firmly denied such speculations, they both admitted to indulging in quite a lot of flirting over the years. In 2017, they elaborated on why they never threaded the path of romance. Rogers started, "I'm a believer that tension is better if you keep it than if you satisfy it." Then Parton added saying, "We were almost like brother and sister, and it would almost be like incest." In a later interview, Rogers said that while they didn't have an affair, they just flirted together for 30 years. Besides, Parton is happily married to Carl Dean, and they have been together for years. On the issue of being married, Parton jokingly said of Rogers, "He's been married 40 times. I can never catch him in between." Truthfully, Rogers had been married 5 times. The friendship remained so unique that even when they couldn't see each other for 3 years, they picked right up where they left off whenever they met again. Being far away clearly didn't mean a thing. Without a phone number or email, they communicated by fax, which was Parton's choice of communication.
That I think is pretty rare, actually. You are now, if you go to a Vegas show where there are impersonators, and people know these shows, the impression shows.
Their final duet song, "You Can't Make Old Friends," was co-written by Don Schlitz, Ryan Hannah King, and Caitlin Smith. Rogers had asked Schlitz to write the song for him, and Parton to sing. As Schlitz explained, the song is obviously very meaningful for the two of them. It was a very touching and heartfelt song about their old friendship. In the song, Parton and Rogers sing about what life would be like if the other was no more. It was recorded in 2013. In the music video for "You Can't Make Old Friends," Rogers referred to him and Parton as soul partners. At the end of the music video, Rogers explained that they had connected personally doing this duet. After all, most of their previous duets had a romantic feel, while this final duet was about a meaningful and long friendship. What a sweet and incredibly important book ending for their long journey as a musical duo. Parton summed it up best. "There was just something about mine and Kenny's chemistry with each other, our friendship. People really sensed what we really feel." Little Wonder fans couldn't get enough of watching them perform together. The duo greats sang because they enjoyed it. When Parton said their friendship meant more to her than hit records, it was obvious why they produced some of the best music. In one video interview, they spoke about their favorite songs from their long career. Parton picked "You Can't Make Old Friends" because of how it related to her friendship with Rogers. She also loved every bit of the song "I Will Always Love You," but they both agreed that "Island in the Stream" holds a lot of memories for them, as it was the start of their friendship.
Yeah, but it was sweet. But we love all of it. I guess Islands would have to be, like I say, you just come alive.
I think the memories.
They can't be criticized for not having a particular favorite song. Seeing every duet they did together came with its own unique memory. One of those unique memories was relayed by Rogers to fans. He spoke about an experience with Parton while recording a song. Apparently, it was incredibly touching. According to him, he noticed that Parton had left her seat to come close to him during the recording, and Rogers described the moment. "She put her arms around my neck and she said, 'Rogers, I think you should know, I could never sing at your funeral.'" Rogers recalled that, naturally, he was a little taken aback by the comment. Yet, Rogers called the moment his favorite memory of his friend. "I love her for that," he said, and continued, "You never know what she's going to say, but it always comes from love." A truly touching, meaningful moment. It is probably difficult to imagine what brought Parton to that point. She must have been deeply thinking about her friend. It's no wonder Rogers held the incredible memory so close to his heart. Rogers' retirement. There were reports that Rogers was suffering from pain in his knees and other ailments, but Parton didn't leave his side. She was there to support and care for him, both physically and emotionally. As a country music singer, 2017 marked the year of Kenny Rogers' last days. He had his retiring tour and final concert, of course, with his dearest friend Parton. The singing duo's final performance was on October 25th, 2017, in Nashville's Bridgestone Arena.
Tonight is as much about me saying thank you as it is goodbye.
Kenny Rogers' All In for the Gambler was organized just before Rogers' retirement and was to honor his long and successful career. He and Parton sang several songs together, and the show had a sizable section for their music together. Parton sang "I Will Always Love You" to her true friend, and she also sang their The concert, "You Can't Make Old Friends." This song brought some tears to fans' eyes that night. They heard Parton asking, "How will I sing when you are gone? 'Cause it won't sound the same. Who'll join in on those harmony parts when I call your name?" The duo ended their set with a beautiful version of their hit, Islands in the Stream, and then finally Rogers' family joined the friends on stage. In a clip from the concert, Parton was very eager to give Rogers the send-off he deserved. "How about a hand for this guy right here? Is he not something?" she screamed as they entered the stage. She later said, "Rogers, of course, says he's retiring. I want to see what condition your condition is really in. He looks good to me." Just looking at Rogers' loving smiles as Parton speaks, it's crystal clear that he seriously appreciated having her there for his last show. Rogers' death. During the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, Kenny Rogers was pronounced dead at 10:15 p.m. on March 20th, 2020, at the age of 81. He was said to have died peacefully from natural causes under the hospice of the care of his family. Read the statement announcing his death by the Rogers family. The award-winning country music star had 5 kids with 4 wives. His death left his soul partner heartbroken. She posted a heartfelt tribute to her longtime friend on Twitter. "You never know how much you love somebody until they're gone. I loved him as a wonderful man and a true friend." In the tearful video that accompanied the text, she said, "My heart's broken, and a big old chunk of it has gone with him today."
But I loved Kenny with all my heart. My heart's broken, and a big old chunk of it has gone with him today.
Parton concluded her tribute with a message of hope. "Fly high, Kenny, straight to the arms of God. And, to the rest of you, keep the faith." A few days after his passing, Parton was able to express her feelings during her interview with Today. She said the news shook her and left her extremely emotional for several days. In it all, she tried to comfort herself, saying, "I've kind of put it in a peaceful place, knowing that he's at peace. I'll always miss him, but I'll always treasure what we had together." It is safe to say every fan felt the same way.